Okay, so a warm welcome to everyone who is here. I'd like to welcome everybody. My name is Adeolu Akinyemi, and I'm excited to be here today to share with us. Today, we're going to be doing a book review on this How to Own Your Life by Don Filer. And this purpose is because we're doing what we call the MLM system certification. And the purpose of this book and this system is to help everyone build a big organization. And we're going to be running through this book together. We've gotten a very interesting waiver from Don Filer for this book. So we just don't want to piss off the people who have already bought it. So we're going to give the people that have bought it an opportunity to buy more for way cheaper. But for everybody who hasn't bought already, you want to get your first copy and read. And if you can get a copy online for the cost, for the purpose of this test, while you now run through the book, that's fantastic as well. So we're going to take it one by one. I will share a few comments, and then I will allow MI and Dr. Fumi to share their comments as well. If there's any other person in the house who is supposed to be here amongst us in trying to ensure that we can co-facilitate for the learnings, please let me know so that I can also drag you in as well. I think this will be very phenomenal for our business. This will help us big time. So this is introduction. So introduction here basically says it starts from a dream. So the question says it starts from a dream. If you are here and you have a dream, then this is for you as well. Many of us had dreams when we were growing up, but many of us have abandoned our dreams. It's important that you're able to revisit your dreams, look at the things you want to do, and ask yourself how we want to do them. And one of the major things you see in this introductory chapter is a story that you'll find in the book by Pablo. It's a popular book, The Parable of Buckets and Pipes, where he shares about how two people, got a job and they were supposed to fetch water for their community. And one was fetching, they were both fetching water and making money from every bucket they were fetching, until one had an idea and said, why can't I lay a pipe? And try to get the other person involved in laying the pipes, but the other person didn't go along. So one person was fetching buckets and making a lot of money in the short term. The other person was fetching a few buckets, but using the money to lay pipes. And after a period of time, after a period of time, the pipe got completed, and the person who was building pipes basically got into a state where, whether he showed up or not, whether he didn't show up or not, the pipes were flowing the water. And the one who was carrying buckets needed to show up every day to continue to earn. And it's a very interesting parable, because this parable basically identifies two kinds of people. It identifies those who carry buckets and those who lay pipes. And those who carry buckets are those who are working for active income, who are doing something every day to earn. And it's not bad. It's a good way to start, but it's not a good way to end. So you want to ensure that even if you are carrying buckets on the short term, you want to make sure that you build your life in such a way that you use the money from the buckets you are carrying to begin to lay pipes, so that in your retirement, at the latter stages of your life, you can have an existence where passive income is coming in for you to take care of your living expenses. So this introduction talks about this story, gives examples of pipe building systems, talks about real estate, talks about investments in stocks, talks about network marketing, talks about intellectual property, talks about business, setting up business systems, and basically says that the best pipe structure you can build in this world, that over 90% of the world can really be involved in building, is this one, that is network marketing. And many people don't know this, that you can actually build something here that is equivalent to real estate, that is equivalent to a lot of amazing things that you can really build. So that's the introduction chapter. So it talks about the lessons from the parable of pipeline, buckets and pipelines reloaded, shares a variety of thoughts there. I'm going to leave it to Dr. Fumi Aino to quickly share a few thoughts that she found in that chapter 1 introduction, to basically give us highlights on what are the things we can take away from here, because we will be quizzed about this as well. Over to you, Ma.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, first of all, the first comment I'd like to make is, I did this course about 3.5 years ago, and I remember that it took us paying for a course to be able to read a book that we had bought a long time ago. So, but talking about pipes, if we really understand the concept of pipes, for me, one thing is that it helps you to look at people through a different lens. I know, Sam, you always talk about lenses, and it helps, for me, it helps me to see people no matter how big the pipe the buckets they're carrying. Once they're carrying buckets, they're carrying buckets. And I think it will help a lot of people to not be intimidated by people who are carrying buckets. They may be big buckets, but they are buckets nevertheless. Once they stop carrying those buckets, the income stops. You see, so it's also the fact that there was something in the video that you said that, look, it doesn't mean that network marketing is the only pipe you should build. You can build other pipes, and in fact, you should try to be involved in all those other industries, to play in those spaces. But network marketing gives you the easiest, the cheapest way of entering into the pipe building world, the way I put it. So those are some of the things, that the comments I have at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark. Sorry, let me just make sure that this person is named correctly. Okay, good. So I think that's amazing. If I can chip in a little bit as well, I'll say that I think it's good for our self-esteem. So what Dr. Fumi and I just mentioned now is good for your esteem, for you to realize that, look, the people that are carrying buckets, there are different kinds of buckets. If I'm fetching buckets, it can be a cup, it can be a pail, it can be a GP tank, meaning there are people around you who are earning multiple millions monthly, but it is directly connected to their activity. A day is coming when that activity, they will not be able to sustain that activity. And what you need to do to prepare ahead is to lay pipelines. Now, if you listen to that story, if you read that story, you realize people were making fun. I think it was Bruno and Pablo. That was who the story was about initially. I usually use Chiki and Chika. People were making fun of the guy who was laying pipes. And they were wondering, what exactly are you doing? You're laying pipes. You're not making money like your other friend who is buying a car, who is building a house, who is doing the phenomenal things that everybody wants to do. But on the long run, you will realize that once your pipe system has been laid, it means you don't have to work so hard. You can enjoy leverage, and there are so many lessons here. And one of the key ones I like to drive home for you is, if you have a friend who is spending money building houses, and the person wants to build 12 houses, it's a mini estate. The person has to do survey. The person needs to do layouts. The person needs to get beacons. The person needs to ensure that there's an estate gate. The person needs to collect approval. The person needs to get the approval before he starts building. Before you begin to build that property at all, you have spent like 6 months to 8 months doing the fundamentals. Once you have done all of that, you now begin to buy sand. You begin to buy cement. You want to, first of all, start digging foundation. You spend the first another 6 months digging foundation, laying the structure for what you want to build. Of course, after you have done architectural designs, after I've gotten approval, after I've done your bill of quantities, this is real estate business. By the time you begin to build, it takes time. And then you build. While you are building, You can't get tenants in. You can't make any money yet. All of these projects, you can do 2 years before you complete the structures if you have a load of cash. And the load of cash that you will use to create these 12 estates, if it's in a prime area like GRA in Ikeja, it can cost you, give or take, 50 million naira a piece. You can have a net of 600 million naira. Now, how long would it have taken you to pre-plan that building and save 600 million naira? 600 million naira, if you are saving 1 million naira per month, it means it will take you 50 years to save 600 million naira at saving 1 million naira per month. If you are saving 1 million naira, if you're saving 5 million naira per month, then it will take you 10 years to save 600 million naira. And then you will use it to build 12 houses before you begin to collect the rent. Guess what? If you build a pipe system with network marketing and you lay your pipes and do exactly the same thing, within a space of 5 years, you can be earning like somebody who has built 12 apartments. you'll have spent all your time also building foundation, laying all the structures, and the income will have started coming in from today. So I think it's an amazing analogy. I think the lessons there are exciting, and I don't know if Kike Lomo wants to add anything to the introduction chapter. Is there anything you want to add? You need to unmute. We cannot hear you.
Okay. Oh, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Wow, it's a privilege for me to be on this panel this afternoon. So, and I want to thank Dr. Aina for the brief introduction that she has done. She has said it all. What I really want to add to that is that when you are laying pipes, so it's going to take time. So, and there will be a lot of, I think I'm in that stage. So I understand very well when people expect you to do something and you are doing something else. So it's difficult. And if you are not focused, you want to like turn back because you're not getting the results immediately. So you need to take the time, you need to give it the time that it takes and to know that you will definitely get the results if you have done what you are supposed to do right. So I don't want to add more than that. So maybe as time goes on, I'll continue.
I have something more to just say before we move on. Just again in the aspect of pipes and buckets, and I'm talking specifically to people who have, maybe you have a job you're doing right now, or you have a self-employed venture you're doing right now. I think it's important to understand that yes, that job and self-employed venture is very important for your current income, well-being, but your pipe building should not suffer for something that if it stops today, you don't really have anything, nothing will flow. So it's just to emphasize the importance of, how important you should take your pipe and squeeze out, even if it's 1 hour a day, you can squeeze out to build your pipe. I think it's worth it. So thank you very much. That's just what I want
Thank
to
you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So moving on quickly to chapter 1. So I'd like us to move to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is Introduction to MLM. And I've been seeing many people asking the page, what is MLM? So what is MLM? Introduction to MLM. Now, this chapter is about 3 pages. Sorry, it's about 6 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, 3 leaves. And it basically shows the difference between network marketing, or what you call multi-level marketing, retailing, direct sales, mail order, pyramid sales, and all those kind of things. And I'd like us to just comment on this. I think this is the shortest chapter we're going to spend time on. What exactly stands out for you in this particular chapter, so that we can get to see what those key lessons are for people who do not have the book, or people who have the book who have read it and need a little extra nudge on it. What are the things that stand out for you that you like to share in this chapter? I think we can start with Kike Lomo.
All right. So on this chapter, that's Introduction to MLM. I think many people, like you've explained in the video, many people mix it up with other kind of marketing. And that's making it so difficult for people to distinguish what MLM is all about. So, and this chapter makes us to understand what MLM is really all about. And what stood out for me in the chapter is how to build an MLM business. That is, it's not about selling. And people don't still get that. Although it took me a while to get what that really means, that it's not about selling, it's about sponsoring, it's about teaching. So it's teachers that succeed more in MLM kind of system. And for you to make it in MLM system, you have to submit yourself to training. You have to out your cup, empty your cup of the wrong stuff that you've learned, of the wrong stuff that you have been taught about MLM. So, and learn what it really is before, I mean, you go into the business. And I really want to, I mean, for those that have not done any form of MLM system before, and they are in this training, I think they are more at advantage because they are going to learn what it really is. Then it won't be difficult for them to be able to understand, and those people that have done it wrongly, that have filled their cups with the wrong stuff, so to unlearn, then relearn again. So they just learn what is MLM is all about. And then again, it differentiates between MLM and other kind of businesses, like, I mean, about retailing and MLM system. That is, retailing is just, there are different stages, I mean, different levels that you have to pass through before the product gets to the consumers, and how the money is being distributed, and how, I mean, the money is not well distributed in any other form of selling. But in MLM, you can see that more people, the money can circulate around the people than being concentrated in some kind of maybe the dealer, the major dealer. Instead of the major dealer, other people too can have access to, I mean, to the system as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Fumiano, any other comments to make on it?
Yeah, okay, yes, I think so. Thank you, Kekelomo. I think one thing that stands out that I feel I need to talk about is just the fact that there are many Ponzi schemes or pyramid schemes that are dressed in MLM, so to speak. And so it's very important that we understand that not everything called an MLM is an MLM. With MLM, there has to be a viable product or service that can be resold. That's one thing. The next thing is just I think Kekelomo sort of mentioned it, that people think that because they are good salesmen and women, they can do well in MLM, but it's the opposite, you know, because selling alone is not network marketing. Network marketing is sponsoring and teaching. And if you can do that, if you come into it with the mindset that, look, first of all, I have to learn. You know, I have to learn. And if you come in with that mindset and you learn and you teach what you learn to people you sponsor, then you have a better chance of doing well in MLM, in network marketing, and in even our own business.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. I hope we're listening and learning. So I'd just like to quickly point out a few things before we move to the next chapter. When we say things like it is not about selling, here's what we mean. It means that the product doesn't move because somebody is selling them. The products move because you are sponsoring new people to join your team. So what makes sales happen is a big organization that is being built. And what you're learning in these systems is how to build a big organization, how to build a large, successful business. Okay. And that the key thing you need to do here is not how many products you can personally sell, but how big an organization you can build, how you can get other people come, because everybody that comes on board with products. So if your other people are coming on board, you come on board with products. Nobody really needs to have more than 10 direct friends and family that are patronizing them to be able to sell their own monthly upkeep products. So you really just want to build an organization. I think it's also important that there are many fraudulent schemes out there, pyramid schemes. In these days, you also have Ponzi schemes who are basically just playing a money game. There's no product of value. Okay, so that point that was mentioned about product of value is very, very crucial as well. So you want to build a big organization because the more people are in your organization, the more the sales that's happening to your organization. So you want to build that. You don't have to emphasize selling. Okay, products move when people are joining your organization. It's not a business for salespeople, it's a business for teachers. Okay, and the key thing here is sponsoring. And why is it sponsoring and not recruiting? Because you are bringing somebody else on board who you are, teaching, who you are helping, who can build a bigger organization than you. So it's not really shaped like a pyramid. It's actually the inverse of a pyramid, because when you bring them up, there's no limit to how many people can be on top. The bottom is where it's crowded, really. So you want to be able to bring as many people to the top as possible, because it's an inverted pyramid as well. And then, of course, you're bringing people on board to build their own business. People always have this mindset of, I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to be, I don't want to be serving my upline or those kind of things, or the company. Understand this: you are building your own business, and your business can be bigger than your upline's business. It's a matter of how you sponsor and how you train. You can build an organization that your upline and the sponsor will be looking at you and wondering, wow, this is amazing. So the purpose of this exercise is to help you build, a big organization. If you are here in the house today, just as a feedback to show that you're listening, and you want to build a big organization, can you type in that window, yes, just put a yes there, so that we know that you are listening, and we know that there are people here who are listening. Now, this is not direct marketing. It's not direct sales. It's not retailing. Advertisements are not needed here, okay? There's usually, for network marketing companies, there's no advertising budget, because it is word of mouth advertising. It is when somebody tells somebody, that's the advertising that really takes place. And that's how we share forward. Okay, so that's very important as well. Okay, so I think that's good. We move to chapter 2. Okay, good. I can see the yes. So I can see that we're in class. We're moving on very quickly to chapter 2. Chapter 2 says 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And this is a chapter that has about 4 pages. Dr. Aino, what are the things that come to mind when you're thinking about 2 times 2 is 4?
Just the fact that, it's important to work with people, help them get started, help them duplicate themselves down the line. And then the fact that okay, thank you. When you look at this, I don't know, I wish I could see the one that has 4 times 4 as well. But just the fact that, duplication is very important. But if you, this shows 2 times 2. If you were to look at 4 times 4, you'll see at the bottom, just going like 3 levels deep, the difference in the number of people that you get at the base is much higher than the addition. I don't know how to explain it without seeing the second the one with 3 times 3 or 4 times 4, 5 times 5. But just the fact that it's that duplication down the line that's very, very important. I think that jumps out. Let me see what else.
I'm trying to look for what you have asked for, to see if it's something I can get on the screen as well. But while I'm doing that, Kike Lomo, you can share with us what you can see as well, so that we can look at that together.
Okay, and thank you, Dr. Aina. So, what stood out for me in this chapter is about duplication, like Dr. Aina has said. So it's about duplicating yourself. I mean, the difference doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you want to look at it, logically, but because of, and it's the concept of leverage as well. I think this chapter makes us to understand a bit the concept of leverage and duplication in this system, which are the key, what will I call it? Is it parameter in making, in succeeding in MLM system? Duplication, we have duplication and leverage. I mean, being able to replicate yourself in other people, that's what makes you succeed. Like 2 times 2, and it's not difficult to this. This chapter 2 is letting us to know that what we have to do is not difficult. We just make it difficult for ourselves. Maybe it's the simplicity that makes us make it as if it's hard. What we have to do is just, okay, sign up, get 2 people, then sponsor those 2 people, then to sponsor 2 people. So that's simple. At least anybody can do that. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to, to spend 4 years in school to understand that. So it's that simple. That's what the system is all about. And now adding 1 to the 2, making 3. So if you look at the difference, okay, it's the difference that is so amazing to me. That, okay, just one, see the effect of just adding 1 organization. So it doesn't make sense, but that's leverage for you. So just
Yes, ma.
Yeah, I thank you very much. Thank you for this. Yes, I mean, also the fact that, you know, it's to sort of corroborate what you said about not selling. I mean, I look at the second the 4x4 one, and at the base, at the end of it, by the third level, you have 256 people. Then you have 64, you have 16, you have 4. When you add that together, I think it comes to like 340. And if you have, all you have is 340 people under you using the products by themselves and having a few family and friends that buy from them every month. That is a lot of product. And that corroborates the fact that you may not necessarily be selling. When I say selling, going out and hawking your product, you know, and also it's what it's telling me is that I think we might have been playing a bit of lip service to the power of 4. I think we need to really, really hone in, all of us, into our teams and say, okay, who are my 4? And look at those 4. If they're really your 4, then they should be working to get their 4, and so on down the line. And with the natural progression of this, a lot more products will be going out of your team. You'll be getting a lot more PV. You'll be getting a lot more income. And as you teach, sponsor and teach, by the time you've taught to your 3rd generation, your 1st and 2nd generation should be able to do what you're doing, teaching and sponsoring. And it's going to get to a point where one's business will take on a life of its own, and you just won't know where the income is coming from. So that's what I wanted to.
Beautiful. Very good. So if you're looking at this, you know, everybody can do basic multiplication. You know, as one of the things the book basically identifies as well, that this business is a game of leverage. It's a game of numbers. And imagine this, that you get 2 people in your team, you support them to get 2 people in their team, and then you support them to train the 2 people to teach their own 2 people to continue to do the same. In 4 levels, you will have 16. If you add just 2 more people to that, just 2 more, by your 4th level, instead of 16, you have 256. That's a difference of 240 people down the line, just because you decided to do 2 more and ask your downlines to do exactly the same thing. This is the amazing power of numbers. And it doesn't matter what kind of organization you are in. Imagine that in Green Mondays, for example, there is no limit to width. You can have 10 downlines, you can have 200. There's no limit in width. So because you can only manage a particular number of people per time, so let's say power of 4, we're dealing in 4, just 4 levels deep, you have 240 people more. If we take it 8 levels deep with the power of 2, you'll have gone from 16 to 32, from 32 to 64, 64 to 256. If you are working with the power of 4, if only 4 levels did as 240, you will have the differences there become very wild. It can be as wild as thousands of people. And what does this mean? It means build your team in a systemic way like this. And I think one of the things that stands out for me that I find very enjoyable is the fact that you don't even leave it to that person to do it themselves. Okay, they are not in business, you know, they're not in business, you know, they are in business for themselves, but they are not by themselves. There's a structure as well that allows you to support, allows them to enjoy your support in making it happen. So I think this 2x2 is actually very interesting, and basically shows you what exactly your own role is supposed to be, what you're supposed to be looking at, what you're supposed to be doing in making it happen. Good. I didn't even know that this was here. This was what Dr. Fumi was looking for before. Yeah. To show you that by the time you get to 5, the difference is 500 and something plus people, and that in just a few, places down your team, if you are building in width and you're building in depth, you can have phenomenal numbers. Okay. I think that's very important. I think we can move very quickly to chapter 3. Chapter 3 talks about the salesman's failure syndrome. Salesman's failure syndrome. I think MI is in the building now. Kike Lomo is back as well. Do you want to share with us your thoughts on salesman's failure syndrome? Or Dr. Fumiano, maybe you can start.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, the thing is that when it comes to the salesman syndrome, it's about the fact that people who are salesmen, they will easily go out and sponsor 100 people. Yeah, and but it's not really about the number of people you can bring in directly. It is about you teaching and sponsoring them and getting them to their 3rd generation. And this chapter shows us that I don't have a downline until my downline has duplicated themselves to the 3rd generation. And that emphasizes the fact that it's not just about bringing people in, bringing them in, dropping them and moving on to the next person, but it's about bringing people in and teaching them and helping them to bring their own 1st generation and teaching them to teach their 1st generation to bring the next generation. And that is why they say that people who are in sales, they don't really do well in this business, because by the time you sponsor 100 people and nothing is happening with those 100 people, they start getting tired, you will get tired, and you will drop off, and then they start dropping off as well. So that's what stands out for me in this chapter.
Thank you, Ma. Very good. I'm quite listening and learning. MI, can you unmute? Is there anything that stands out for you that you would like to share before I share the things that are on my own mind?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'd like to share, a few of some of the experiences that I encounter in the course of meeting people. I think society has conditioned people to want to make superstars out of themselves. People want to make a statement with who they are. They want to be able to say, I made this happen. And so when they come into a business like this, where you tell them about leverage, where you tell them how they can achieve results with people, they have a lot of struggle. They want to be able to say, I did this and I made this happen. And so they go all out. I want to do everything, want to get the whole world in. And after some time, like Dr. Aino said, they actually, they wither off. I've had cause to ask some people, these people that you signed up.
I think I'm losing you here. I don't know if it's general.
It's frozen.
It's frozen. Okay. Okay. So I'll just quickly add a few thoughts to that. I think she's having internet challenges where she is. Okay, let me just quickly share a few thoughts as well on this. Or Kike Lomo, do you have anything you want to add before I summarize? Hello? Is there anything you want to share before I add? We have 12 more minutes.
Okay, so what I just want to add is that, in network marketing, what the problem people have the most is I can't sell. So what they tell you is when you introduce the business to them is I can't sell. So to now explain to them that this business is not about selling. So this that's what this chapter is all about, to show people that this business is not really about selling. That can help us to answer their objection about selling. That is not about selling, and you don't need to recruit the whole world. You cannot work more than 5 people at a time. So we need to study this very well and know how to communicate it to our team so that they know that this is not really about selling. That can help us to handle some objection that we normally encounter in this business. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll have to.
If I can quickly add, I think there are a few internet connection challenges in different places, but let me share this. So if you're here and you're listening, many people usually join this business and they feel, if I can sign up somebody like Dr. Diron, let me use Dr. Diron as an example. Dr. Diron is a sales type personality. Okay, he's very passionate, he's able to engage many people, and he has a sales type personality. So if you have a Dr. Diron on your team, if you he will bring the whole world there, or he will sign up, he will sell, he will sign up many people. This book is saying there's a word of caution here. Sales people are good people, but if you want them to succeed, you must pass them through this system. They must learn these napkin presentations. And this napkin presentations is a way to help people understand that it's not being a salesman that will help you here. So if a salesman goes out and gets 130 people into their team, they will not achieve the same results as somebody who gets 5 people in their team and is able to duplicate. So this chapter begins to tell you about the concept of duplication. You are not duplicated when you have a downline. No, you are duplicated when your downline has a downline that has a downline. Not only when that exists, but when your downline can do everything you can do. And what are the things you can do? There are 2 things you know how to do well. 1, you know how to sponsor people. And 2, you know how to teach them. And there are 2 things you know how to teach them. You know how to teach them to sponsor, and you need to know how to teach them to teach. So once your downline knows how to sponsor, knows how to teach to sponsor, knows how to teach, and these are not theoretical learnings, these are learnings you learn by actually demonstrating it. So when I have a downline, so let's say for example, my downline now is Kike Lomo, who I'm looking at on this screen on my left. I need to teach downline I need to teach Kike how to sponsor. How do I do that? I ask that Kike to give me, the list, to engage like our top important people that she wants to get on board the business, to bring them into a CISO session with me. So she brings them into a meeting with me. I do the speaking on her behalf. I'm speaking to her prospects on her behalf in her presence so that she can see how it is done. I do this for her 5 times. They come on board her team. She has now learned how to sponsor. Now she needs to learn how to teach her people how to sponsor. So I join her in the meeting and I watch her do the same thing I did for her team members. When she has done that for her team members, she has learned how to teach them to sponsor. Now she must learn how to teach them how to teach by sitting down and watching them do the same thing. So it's saying here that who you need for your business is not the salesman. If you have a salesman, you need to convert them into a teacher. They need to recognize that duplication is what this is about. Duplication. And duplication is not 1 layer deep. It is 3 levels deep. It's only when you have seen your 3rd generation that you are duplicated. I think those are some of the exciting things that you find in this book. And it says, look, if you bring a downline who is a firecracker, who goes around the world and signs up 50 people, and then the kind of income they want to earn, they are not getting it, they get discouraged, look for something else to sell. The upline is angry. The new person has joined the team is not happy as well. And then your team has packed up in front of you because, the product price changed. Oh, this product, because all they were focused on from the beginning was selling. You don't understand that it's about building with leverage and building a big organization. So you need to teach them how to sponsor and teach them how to teach. Emma, you are saying something, you want to quickly complete it before your internet takes it from you again.
Yeah, pretty much a lot of focus needs to go into settling down to learn. Society has taught us to be in a particular way and to position like, I can do this. Okay, but there's unlearning that needs to happen to know that achieving results with working with a team is what will really take you far. On your own, you can get a lot done, and that's what happens. People who are salespeople tend to achieve results faster, yeah? But the same way they achieve results really fast, they have the tendency of also crashing as well. So, but those that take time to build and leverage to ensure that people that they work with grow, they steadily grow, and ultimately they enjoy the dividends of leverage. So training sponsorship takes time. It takes a bit of time to pick up. But when you have your core team and they understand what you're doing and you're able to duplicate, ultimately it becomes a very, very rewarding experience. I would like to say that when people want to, when someone wants to have a building project, many times they have a contractor, that's somebody who is in charge of that project. And the person seems not to be doing much, but the person is getting a lot done, harnessing all the parts of the people that are doing the work involved to ensure that their work is done. So that means there's painstaking work involved. There's what you need to do. And as we focus attention on that, ultimately it will be a very rewarding experience. This is a long-term thing. It's not, I don't want to make a quick buck. I don't want to make a quick buck and say, oh, okay, this is what I want to achieve. But I want to build an organization. It's not a quickie kind of thing. And I just wanted to say that about the salesman's failure syndrome. That gives me the tendency of, feeling that, yeah, I've achieved results, I've achieved this and that. But the person who is building, it may look a bit slow at the beginning, but ultimately it will be very rewarding. That's the power of leverage over just being a salesman.
Okay, very good. I'd like to read something before we move to chapter 4, which is our last chapter today. It says, after I have sponsored someone, it is more important for me to go with them and help them sponsor someone else than it is for me to go out and sponsor another person for myself. I just cannot emphasize this point too much. This point will come up again in a couple of other presentations. So it's saying that once I have my first 5 sponsored, my next assignment is how to help them get started. It's not about how to multiply more people. And of course, in order to find 5 serious people, it's true that you may need to get 20 of them. But once you have 5 people that are committed to engaging with you towards helping them get started by, speaking to the people that they want to sponsor, it is better for you to spend time going deeper than going wider. Okay, this is very, very important. So it makes our business a more contact spot. We are not just uplines who have abandoned the people that joined their team and looking for fresh people. Yes, we're looking for fresh people, but we're building depth with the people that we have brought on board as well. And these are conversations that we'll have more and more in the following chapters in the subsequent days. Chapter 4, the 4 things you have to do. I think this is a very loaded chapter. It's a chapter that is about 8 pages. Sorry, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pages. It's exciting 6 pages. It's loaded. It comes with a very interesting metaphor of driving towards your dream, driving a vehicle towards your destination. I'd like us to just contribute quickly. We have like a few minutes to go before 3 o'clock, and I want us to keep this within 1 hour. So 4 things you have to do, quick thoughts. We'll start with MI, and then we'll move to Kike, and then we'll move to Dr. Fumi.
Okay. Yesterday I was having a meeting with some people in my team, and somebody asked a question and said, what if, the products that I have with me, I'm not able to exhaust them before they expire? And I'm like, what did he just say? Really? You're getting products and you're talking about expiry. Anyone who has products that are going to expire now will probably expire in under 1 year plus. And he's talking about how many products. And that brings me to 4 things you need to do. Get in and get started means you get in and hit the ground running. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? The second thing I need to do is I need to use the products. Okay, so I zoomed in on that and to tell the person, when you get your products as someone who is new in the business, you use the product for yourself, and you also ensure that people around you also use the products.
Okay.
Of course, number 3 talks about team building, building your team to get into your business. So I zoomed in on that as well to say, use the product and share with friends. I mean, you need to like till the ground to get your business from. People need to feel what you have. So those 4 things you need to do are like the things you need to have in mind if you are going to really build a business. You need to be the product of your product by using the product. You need to share with friends. People need to begin to experience what you have. And you tell them, this product is good, yeah, but there's a business side to it. There's what you need to know about this business. So those 4 things that you need to do are very crucial to the building of your business. I just want to say that. Let me give a little as well.
Thank you. Dr. Fumi.
Okay, thank you very much, Emma. What jumps out at me is the first one. The analogy was, maybe I'll use our own country. I want to go from Lagos to Abuja, and no matter how fantastic my car is, if I get in and if I don't get in and get started, I'm going nowhere. And what I want to talk about is you need to get in, but you need to get started. A lot of people get it. Okay, we spend so much time or an effort bringing people on board the business. Maybe it takes so much time for them to actually get signed up. But when they get signed up, they need to get started. Because even if I get into the car, if I don't start the car, it's not moving. I'm not going anywhere. So, and that get started involves a lot of things. It involves using the product. It involves learning. It involves teaching. It involves attending trainings. It involves bringing people bringing prospects to meetings. So that getting started, I dare say that there are lots of people who have signed up, but they have not gotten started. That's what jumped out to me in this chapter today, and that's just what I want to share. People need to get started. And if we're here, we've just signed up. Have you really gotten started? Have you started that car? If not, sitting in the car, you'll just be admiring the car, and that will not take you to Abuja.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, I like the way Mrs. Feyi is capturing it. She says GOS. Acronym. Get started, use the products, shift to high gear, and share the products. This is the hallmark of Efiko's. Very well, very well. But let me say this. A few key things that stand out for me. The process is very important. So, in network marketing, you can start 2 years after you joined. You can start the day you joined. But there are many people, if you're in the business and you're not really paying attention, you have not really ignited and tried to put your car in gear, you are still in the car. You have not got out of the driveway. You need to get out of the driveway. And basically it's about drawing a line in the sand and saying to yourself, from now going forward, this is what I want to achieve. So in order to achieve the phenomenal things, if you want to earn $100,000 at the end of the year, $200,000 at the end of the year, $1 million at the end of the year, or in 5 years, you want to be, having the capacity to create the same value that somebody who has built an estate of 12 houses can earn, you need to get in and get started. After you get started, the first thing you want to do is use your product. And I can't say that too much. And I thank God for the opportunity we have in Green Mondays, for example, where the average distributor uses 5 products per day. So every day, you will find that you will use disinfectants, you will use the hand sanitizers, you will use body wash, you will use body butter, you will drink Rita bitters, and if there's anything else you want to add to it, fire or restore or cleanser or fat burner, you probably get into 6. Okay, so the average person uses 5 touch points for the products. You use your product, become a product of your product, and then get into high gear. Now, you have not started selling any product. There's no sales going on in the first 3 steps. In the first 3 steps, you get to high gear. It's one of the things I want to begin to advise stockists as well. As a stockist, you want to tell yourself, for as long as you have not gotten yourself duplicated, what you should be doing is not taking on more GMX inside your stockist pack. Your stockist pack should be made up of gold, silver, platinum, VIP packs. Because really, what you want to do at that point is get into high gear. The ones that will make you get to high gear are gold, platinum, and VIP. If you get people signed up in your team, if you do 4 bronze, I'm sorry, 4 gold, forgive me. Bronze and silver need to leave my vocabulary. If you do 4 gold, for example, that's 320 PV done. So, and if your team is growing the way your team should grow, it should get to a time where if you don't have any stockists in the active team you are building, you should need 240 new people to join you by level 4. So what I will say, you get in and get started, you use the products, okay? You get into high gear, and it is only when you're getting into high gear that you begin to share with friends. Now, that concept called share with friends, what exactly does it mean? What your concept of sharing with friends really means is that's the point at which you begin to sell. That's the point at which you share. You have a few friends that you are getting the products across to. That's what you mean when you say share with friends. So at that point, what you're really doing is you are getting your friends to retail. You're retailing some of them. Now, if you begin to share with friends before you get into high gear, you will not leave the driveway. Because if you are driving your car and before you go far, somebody has stopped you and say, paddy, come, let's talk. The moment you begin to share with friends, you are not going to get to Abuja or California. So that process is very important. Pay attention to that process. You get in and get started. You use the products, you get into high gear. And what does it mean to get into high gear? It means get your first 4 people. In our own case, in the generic sense, you can manage 5 people at the same time. So you can get 5 people that you're managing, get them to do the same thing that you're doing, and then teach them, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. It is only when you have gotten to high gear like this, you have a team that has duplicated you, your team is on fire and bubbling. You cannot say, what, I have a few customers around my house, I can retail to them or I can even dash them. And then, of course, I get to begin to open up my channels for more and more to happen within my team. So those are the first 4 chapters, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a big thank you to the people that have participated in helping us ensure we can share thoughts for this. This video will be made available at the back office so that for those who did the who did the initial videos can get this as a summary for the book as well. Every day will be marked with a quiz. The people who are participating in this class are the ones who do the quiz and pass. What we're having in the quizzes that we'll do today, tomorrow, and the day after is continuous assessment. So even if you fail this test, no problem. You can just do the test, make sure you get it done. If you pass, fantastic. If you don't pass, it's a warning signal to you because this is your continuous assessment will make up 30% of your final assessment. Your exam will be 70 marks. Continuous assessment will be 30 marks. I feel like a lecturer in secondary school somewhere in Ilori. But essentially this is what it's going to be. So let's get reading. For today is introduction to chapter 4. For tomorrow, we'll move from 5 to 8 and move on and on and on like that until we get to the end. I don't know if there's any question that you want to ask before we go. We'll take 1 more minute, any questions at all, and then we'll take 1 minute parting shots from our speakers, just 1 minute parting shots as questions are dropping. Once we have those 1 minute parting shots, we'll shut down the meeting, and then we'll catch you again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Parting shots, Dr. Kumi, I know.
Well, I just think it's important to pay attention to all this because it's by the time we've gone through the book, it's a game changer, and also just to talk to people who are just joining. It's building your business, building your network. It's something you have to go deep yourself. Like CM would say, empty bags don't stand upright. And so I want to encourage us to pay attention to this, to imbibe them, to learn them, and to also put them into practice. You will see in the next few months, few years, you would point back to this period as a turning point in your business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma. MI, 1 minute party shot. MI, 1 minute party shots. Kiki Alomo, get ready.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There are 2 things.
Can you take off the earphone?
Just like to mention 2 in 1.
The earphone is making some noise.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. The first thing is the fact that open minds become, they have space for wealth. And that's what I want to say. Being the first day of this set of trainings, I know there's what we have learned from where we're coming from, but I would like to encourage us to have an open mind to learn. Okay, they are tested. All this that we're learning and we're sharing are things that have been tested, and results have shown. Okay, that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so if you have an open mind, you can make phenomenal things happen for your business. Okay, the second thing that we've already spoken about is the fact that let the sales that come through your team be as a result of building your organization. That is the one that is sweet sales. Okay, that you don't have to be the one to hit your head on the wall to make it happen. Okay, so let the sales that come through you ultimately be as a result of building your organization. So what that means that it doesn't say that sales is bad, okay, but sales can be juicy and sweet when they come as a consequence of building your organization. So by reason of priority, we are putting priority on building an organization, which we know is not an easy thing, but is rewarding on the long run. So when you put your energy into building an organization, the sales that come as a result of that and the rewards that you enjoy become a consequence of building your organization. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ikelama, can you give us your parting shot, 1 minute?
Okay, all right, sir. Like we shared in our November push this morning, that the secret to getting ahead is to get started. So, and the last chapter that we reviewed today has actually emphasized that for you to to succeed in this business, you must make up your mind that you are going to do this. That's the first thing. The conviction must be there. So you are not doing it for your plan, you are not doing it for anybody. So you must make up your mind and get in and get started. Then another thing you need to do is that this business is really a practical business. And that's why for some of us that that are pragmatic in our learning, you can take this book chapter by chapter and practice it with this business. So everything is not, it's very obvious. You can practice everything you are learning daily so that you can hone the knowledge that you are acquiring during this period. So let's just go out and make our dream come true. Thank you for the privilege to share.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say this in closing. I've read this book many times myself from cover to cover. I'm reading it again. Okay, I think it's important that everybody has, if you have like 5 copies, I don't think it's bad, because sometimes you need to loan your team members to go and read. And for everybody who has done this course, who bought the books and did this course, we're going to give you an opportunity to buy subsequent ones for cheaper, so that you can use them for your team members. For those who will do the course, we'll probably charge it differently. But after the first set that you buy, you will get access to this cheaper. Now, the beautiful thing with this is, and I have a few questions here that I will quickly respond to. This is a manual for building a big organization. There are other books you can read. They will teach you skills. Their books are very good for skills. Their books are very good for your mindset. Their books are good for various things. This one is a manual for how do I build a big organization. And in this business, on the long term, you want to build a big organization. Somebody says, share a little more about the word pyramid. Pyramid just means something that's shaped like this. Every organization of human existence has a few leaders and many people at the base. Pyramids are normal things. It's the way the Boy Scouts is designed, it's the way the Girl Scouts is designed, it's the way companies are designed, it's the way even church is designed. There's a head, there are fewer people that report to them, and there are more people at the base. So, but don't get it confused. Pyramid schemes are schemes that have no product of value, where people are just basically using money to pay people on top and pay people on top. In an equal opportunity environment like network marketing, we actually call it an inverted pyramid because everybody can get to the top. Mrs. Ogulis is asking, when we have brought in people, when do we stop? Do we keep inviting people? You can stop. Now, how it is supposed to work really is that once you get your first frontliners that are serious, that's power of 4. Once you get 4 people that are serious, you work with these 4 people to get their own 4 people each. You teach them to work with their own 4 people to get 4 people each. It is only when they have gotten to bedrock, when they have built an organization that is deep and duplicated you, that you can go and create a new 4. Now, that new 4 you are creating is basically just opening your business up to say, I want more income than this 4 can provide me. But with just 4, you can earn billions of naira. You can earn millions of dollars from 4 people. If you want to expand it later, is when you are built to them. I will get to the chapters that talk about them. So it's not an infinite invitation. You invite, you build your bedrock, you now begin to support your team members. And that is why where we're going to is not a place where we'll be having 4 sessions per day or 4 presentations per day. Really, the way it should be, we'll get there. After we have a lot of people solidified in this, is where we don't have any structure to control how many meetings happen per day, because people are doing 50 meetings per day on their own account. Because a meeting is a place where you have 4 people, your upline, yourself, the person you want to speak with, or your downline who wants to bring a person, 4 of you in a room, you sit down in that Zoom meeting, do the meeting for 45 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, and get the person on board. So with those kind of things happening, 45 minutes caps, we expect 200 meetings to be happening per day. That's where we're going. So, but you don't have to invite 500 people. No, you keep on, once you have your frontliners, your next assignment is to support the people in your team. It is only when they have duplicated you that you need to go wider. So it says, what can be done to downlines despite training? They are not making effort to come up. We'll talk about motivation. We'll talk about what you need to do. So you need to, one of the things in this business you must learn is that we don't give excuses. We ask ourselves, what am I responsible for? By focusing on what I'm responsible for. And everybody on this panel today, they are 3-star. Everybody in this panel today are 3-star, 4-star managers, 4-star distributors. And why? We got there, people got there not by giving excuses, or not because downlines are different in their team than they are in your team, but because you can set a goal for yourself and you can understand how to build an organization and you can follow that process. Yes, may today become a landmark day where you draw the line in the sand and things become better from then. The people that want to get the book can get the book from the company. There's a form for you to fill to get the book. I think we've answered all the key questions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, facilitators, for the amazing time today. See you again tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.